and good morning to everyone. Greeting, let me introduce myself. My name is Tia Setiawati from the Public Health Study Program, and my number at the NDA is 012405000003, and here I will read a text about tuberculosis. So does anyone know what tuberculosis is? Tuberculosis or TB is an infectious disease that most often affects the lungs and is caused by a type of bacteria. It is spread through the air when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or breathes. Tuberculosis is preventable and curable. About a quarter of the global population is estimated to have been infected with the TB bacteria, and about 5 to 10% of people who are infected with TB will eventually develop symptoms and develop TB disease. People who are infected but not yet sick cannot spread the disease. TB is usually treated with antibiotics and can be battled without treatment. In some countries, the Bacillus Calmette-Guerin or BCG vaccine is given to baby and young children to prevent TB. This vaccine prevents TB outside the lungs but not inside the lungs. People with latent TB infection do not feel sick and are not contagious. Only a small proportion of people who are infected with TB will develop TB disease and symptoms. Baby and children are not higher risk. Certain conditions can increase a person's risk of developing tuberculosis, such as diabetes, a weakened immune system, malnutrition, and tobacco use. Unlike TB infection, when someone gets TB, they will have symptoms. Symptoms can be mild for several months, making it easy to spread TB to others without realizing it. Common symptoms of TB include persistent cough, sometimes with blood, chest pain, weakness, fatigue, weak, low fever, night sweats. The symptoms a person experiences depend on which part of the body the TB is active. Although TB usually attacks the lungs, it can also attack the kidneys, brain, spine, and skin. WHO recommends the use of rapid molecular diagnostic tests and the initial diagnosis test for all people with signs and symptoms of TB. Rapid diagnosis tests recommended by WHO include the expert MBTA or RIF Ultra and TrueWell test. This test has high diagnosis accuracy and will lead to major improvements in the early detection of TB and drug-resistant TB. The tuberculin skin test or interferon gamma release test can be used to identify people who are infected, diagnose multi-drug resistant TB and other resistant forms of TB. And TB associated with HIV can be complicated. Tuberculosis is particularly difficult to diagnose in children. TB disease is treated with antibiotics. Treatment is recommended for both TB infection and disease. The most commonly used antibiotics are isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide, ethambutol, and streptomycin. To be effective, this drug needs to be taken every day for 4 to 6 months. Stopping treatment early or without medical advice is dangerous. This can cause surviving TB to become drug resistant. Tuberculosis that does not respond to standard drug is called drug resistant TB and requires more toxic treatment with different drugs. Some causes of tuberculosis in the body include primary infection. This stage occurs when air containing TB-causing bacteria inhaled through the nose or mouth until it enters the lungs and multiples. And to latent infection, when bacteria begin to grow, the immune system will fight back. When the immune system successfully fights it, the bacteria will fall asleep and not actively infect. So, the infected person will not feel any symptoms. Active infection, conversely, when the body immune system fails to fight the bacteria that enter and multiply, The bacteria will freely attack healthy cells in the lungs. This condition will make the sufferer well symptoms. If someone has symptoms like tuberculosis, they should be advised to undergo further examination, because if someone has tuberculosis, they must undergo treatment for 6 months by always wearing a mask wherever they are, eating healthy foods, and living a clean and healthy lifestyle to get optimal treatment. And the bacteria from tuberculosis will not spread or mutate to others. Okay, maybe that's all I can say about tuberculosis. I apologize if there are any mistakes and shortcomings that I have committed. Thank you to Mr. J and all my friends who have watched this video. I, Tiasyawati, ask for your leave. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello Mr. John. Let me introduce myself. I am Aisyatul Latifah. My NPM is 0124010000H. Here, I will read an article about Singapore flu. Singapore flu, or also known as HFMD, or hand, foot, and mouth disease, is an infection disease that generally occurs in children aged 5 to 10 years. However, this disease is more likely to attack children under 5 years of age. Singapore flu is a viral disease caused by several types of Coxsackie virus, especially the Coxsackie A16 virus. The virus that causes this disease will live in the toddler digestive tract and spread from person to person. The virus can be transmitted through dirty hand and surfaces contaminated with saliva, feces, fluid from skin rash, or respiratory secretion, coughing or sneezing from an infected person. This disease is classified as not dangerous, but patients still need treatment so that the virus disappears. This disease usually attacks for 7 to 10 days. Treating Singapore flu in the right way is mandatory, because if not, there are concerned the complications such as meningitis, polio, and even death will occur. A person can contact this disease in the following way. First one, share eating or drinking utensil with shower. 2. Accidentally inhaling saliva splash when the shower sneezing or cook. 3. Touching the eyes, nose, or mouth without washing your hand first after touching the patient feces. For example, when changing baby diaper. 4. Touching object contaminated with the virus, then touching your eyes, nose, or putting your finger in your mouth without washing your hand first. Singapore flu symptoms. When infection with the virus that caused Singapore flu, the patient will experience an incubation period for the Singapore flu virus, namely 3 to 6 days. After that, other symptoms will appear such as fever, sore throat, loss of appetite, painful canker sore appear on the tongue, gums, and inside of the cheeks. A red rash that sometimes blister and contains fluid on the palms of the hand, sole of the feet, and buttocks. Baby and toddler will be fussy, abdominal pain, and cough. Generally, Singapore flu begins with a fever. After that, about a day or two, canker sore or sore appear around the gum, tongue, and inner cheeks. This condition can make Singapore flu severe, uncomfortable when drinking, eating, or swallowing. 1 to 2 days later, a rash appears on the palms of the hand and feet, and sometimes on the buttocks. How to prevent Singapore flu? The following steps can be used to prevent infection with the Singapore flu virus. The first one is washing hands. Children and adults should wash their hands regularly with soap and running water. 2. Avoid close contact. Avoid close contact with infected individuals, especially if they have symptoms. 3. Good sanitation. Make sure toys and frequently touch surfaces in the home and children play areas are kept clean. 4. Maintain oral hygiene. Children should be taught to maintain oral hygiene, such as brushing their teeth regularly. And that's all for me. I hope it's useful. Thank you. Bye.
Hello Mr. G, my name is Maria, my NPM 0124010011. I want to reading some article about gastroesophageal reflux disease or GERD. GERD is a chronic digestive disorder and is one of the diseases that is quite common in everyone. GERD occurs when stomach acid from the stomach flow back or reflects into the esophagus or food pipe or esophagus. In normal situation, food enters from the mouth and then pass to the lower esophagus. To prevent food or stomach acid from rising back into the esophagus, there is a muscle called the esophagus sphincter that closes the entrance to the stomach. Then the food will be stored for about 3 to 4 hours to be digested. In case of GERD, the esophageal sphincter is disturbed or weakened, cause the relaxation process to become too loose. This can cause the stored food along with stomach acid to rise into the esophagus. This condition is called reflux. This reflux irritation and can damage the lining of the esophagus. This condition is called reflux. This reflux irritation and can damage the lining of the esophagus. Reflux can be also reach the vocal cords or even flow into the lungs. When food and stomach acid rise to the esophagus, sufferers generally feel burning, a sensation in their chest or heartburn. GERD is a fairly common disease, including Indonesia. Some Indonesian also calls GERD acid reflux. The most common symptoms of GERD is a burning sensation in the chest or heartburn that spreads from the stomach to the throat. Other characteristics of GERD that might arise include: first, continuous short thirst; 2, pain and discomfort in the chest or epigastrium; 3, bad breath; 4, respiratory problems such as chronic cold and asthma; 5, tooth damage due to exposure to stomach acid; 6, belching. This is what causes reflux or stomach acid flowing back into the esophagus. In addition, there are various risk factors that can contribute to the GERD, such as: first, lying down or sleeping after eating; 2, not giving a break between eating and sleeping; 3, smoking and consuming alcohol and coffee; 4, too often consuming food that can trigger stomach acid, such as fried food, sauce food, and spicy food; 5, eating too much at once; 6, eating large portions or eating late at night. To prevent GERD or acid reflux disease, you can do the following. First, chew food slowly. To choose the right food, such as avoiding spicy, sour, fatty, and peppery food. 3, do not lie down immediately after eating. 4, stop smoking and drinking alcohol. 5, manage stress well. 6, reduce caffeine intake for drinking enough and wisely. That's all about my article. Thank you, Mr. Chi, for your time watch this video. I hope you enjoy and see you next.
Hello, Mr. Johannes Blatan, SSMPD. Let me introduce myself. My name is Cynthia Puspitasari, NPM number 012401000005. Here I will talk about diabetes mellitus. Enjoy watching the video. What is diabetes? Diabetes is a metabolic disease that occurs when there is a healthy level of sugar in the body, but it cannot be utilized optimally by the body. Diabetes is a condition that is included in the category of dangerous chronic disease, especially if complications have occurred. Cause of diabetes: there are several causes that the body to fail to burn sugar in the body optimally, including 1. Lack of physical activity, 2. Sugar intake that is too high, 3. Description of the body response to insulin, 4. Reduction insulin production by the pancreas, 5. Inhibition of insulin response due to the presence of the hormone. Insulin itself is hormone produced by the body to help maximize the absorption of glucose or sugar into the body cell to be processed into energy source, and the excess will be stored as energy reserve. Type diabetes reserve public. Introduction to diabetes mellitus divided diabetes into two types, namely type 1 diabetes. Basically, type 1 diabetes is autoimmune disorder, namely a condition when antibody that work to protect the body from infection instead attack the body of cell. In the case of type 1 diabetes, what is damage in the beta cell in the pancreas? This process damages the beta cell that produces insulin. It is not yet known what causes antibody to attack pancreatic beta cell. However, many experts believe the genetic factor and certain viral infection are the cause. Type 2 diabetes, unlike the cause of type 1 diabetes, which is the result of decreased insulin production. In type 2 diabetes, insulin production is normal. However, the body sensitivity in responding to blood sugar level decrease to so that its use is not optimal. Generally, this condition occurs more often in adults, especially those who are over 30 years old. Lifestyle factors such as lack of physical activity, stress, and consumption of food in sugar play an important role in the formation of disease. In addition, genetic factors and obesity that are not treated properly have quick influence of increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes. Symptoms of diabetes is a disease that appears accompanied by the following symptoms. 1. After feeling thirsty even though you have drunk enough water. 2. Weight loss for no apparent reason. 3. After attacked by extreme hunger. 4. All or defeat to help work. 5. Blurred vision. 6. Frequent urination. 7. Frequent infection, including those of the skin, gum, and intimate organ. That's all the discussion about diabetes mellitus. More or less apology. Thank you for extension. See you later.
Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Cutuanda Putri Srikandi. My NPM is 0124010010. I'm from the Public Health to the program. Here, I will read an article about HIV and AIDS. Okay, let's start it. HIV, or human immunodeficiency virus, is a virus that attacks the body's immune system, while acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS, occurs at the most advanced stage of infection. HIV targets the body's white blood cells, weakening the immune system. This makes it easier to get sick with diseases like tuberculosis, infections, and some cancers. HIV is spread from the body fluids of uninfected persons, including blood, breast milk, semen, and vaginal fluids. It is not spread by kisses, hugs, or sharing food. It can also spread from a mother to her baby. HIV can be prevented and treated with antiretroviral therapy, or ART. Untreated HIV can progress to AIDS often after many years. HIV has several signs and symptoms. The symptoms of HIV vary depending on the stage of infection. HIV spreads more easily in the first few months after a person is infected, but many are unaware of their status until the later stage. In the first few weeks after being infected, people may not experience symptoms. Others may have an influenza-like illness including fever, headache, rash, or sore throat. The infection progressively weakens the immune system. This can cause other signs and symptoms. First, swollen lymph nodes. 2. Weight loss. 3. Fever. 4. Diarrhea. 5. Cough. With the treatment, people living with HIV infection can also develop severe illness. First, tuberculosis or TB. 2. Cryptococcal meningitis. 3. Severe bacterial infections. 4. Cancer such as lymphomas and Kaposi sarcoma. 5. HIV causes other infections to get worse, such as hepatitis C, hepatitis B, and MPOX. HIV can be transmitted via the exchange of body fluids from people living with HIV, including blood, breast milk, semen, and vaginal secretions. HIV can also be transmitted to a child during pregnancy and delivery. People cannot become infected with HIV through ordinary day-to-day contact such as kissing, hugging, shaking hands, or sharing personal objects like food or water. Behaviors and conditions that put people at greater risk of contracting HIV include: first, having anal or vaginal sex without a condom. 2. Having another sexually transmitted infection or STI such as syphilis, herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and bacterial vaginosis. 3. Harmful use of alcohol or drugs in the context of sexual behavior. And 4. Sharing contaminated needles, syringes, and other injecting equipment or drug solution when injecting drugs. There is no cure for HIV infection. It is treated with antiretroviral drugs which stop the virus from replicating in the body. Current antiretroviral therapy, or ART, does not cure HIV infection but allows a person's immune system to get stronger. This helps them to fight other infections. Currently, ART must be taken every day for the rest of person's life. Advanced HIV disease remains a persistent problem in the HIV response. WHO is supporting countries to implement the Advanced HIV disease package of care to reduce illness and death. Newer HIV medicines and short-course treatments for opportunistic infection like cryptococcal meningitis are being developed that may change the way people take ART, and prevention medicine include access to injectable formulation in the future. Finish. Hopefully this video can be useful for the listeners. Thank you.
Mr. Johannes Belatan. Introduce myself. My name is Dina Ramawati and NPM 0124010009. Today I will explain about asthma, starting for the definition, causes, risk factor, and the symptoms of the asthma. Next, enjoy my video. First, I will explain about definition of asthma. Asthma is respiratory system disorder characteristic by inflammation and narrowing of the airways that can cause shortness of breath. This is because asthma sufferers have more sensitive airways than people in general. When the lungs are irritated, the airways will narrow so then the air entering the lungs is limited. This condition is what makes asthma sufferers often experience shortness of breath or choking when exposed to cigarette smoke, dust, animal hair, or other triggers that have the potential to irritate the lungs. About cases of asthma, it is not yet known for sure what causes asthma. However, this condition often occurs when sufferers are exposed to certain triggers. Something that are thought to trigger asthma are as follows. The first, upper respiratory tract infection. The second, weather factors such as cold, hot weather, or drastic change in temperature. The third, active and passive smokers. The fourth, consuming food and drinks that contain preservatives. The fifth, being exposed to substances in the air such as air pollution or chemicals. The sixth, allergy to the certain food. The seventh, stress and anxiety disorder. The eighth, GERD. The ninth, excessive activities such as heavy exercise, lounging, or singing too much. And the tenth, as of certain medication. That I will explain about risk factor of asthma. Asthma can occur in all groups, be it children, young adults, and the elderly. However, asthma symptoms are usually known since the sufferer is still a child. There are several factors that can increase the risk factor of asthma in children, namely the first having a family history of asthma, the second suffering from respiratory infection such as bronchitis and pneumonia, the third premature birth, the fourth being born with LBW or low birth weight, and the fifth having atopic allergies. Then I will explain about asthma symptoms. Asthma symptoms vary from person to person depending on the frequency, duration of attack, and severity. In some people, asthma attack only occur at night. Meanwhile, in other cases, asthma may only occur after activity. Common symptoms of asthma are quite easy to recognize, including the first, shortness of breath; the second, thickness of chest thickness; the third, congestion, especially at night; the fourth, wheezing or a whistling sound with breathing; the fifth, weak, leisure body; the sixth, unusual restlessness; the seventh, frequency and singing. All the discussion about asthma, more or less, I apologize. Thank you for attention. See you next time.
Hello, Mr. Johannes Belatan. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kira Julia, and my number NPM 0124010001. And I will read an article about mental health. I hope you enjoy to my video. Okay. Mental health have 3 points. First, concept in mental health.
Mental health is a stage of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to their community. It is an integral component of healthy and well-being that underpins our individual and collective abilities to make decisions, build relationships, and shape the world we live in. Mental health is a basic human right, and it is crucial to personal, community, and socioeconomic development. Mental health is more than the absence of mental disorder. It exists on a complex continuum which is experienced differently from one person to the next, with varying degrees of difficulty and distress and potentially very different social and clinical outcomes. Mental health conditions include mental disorders and psychosocial disabilities as well as other mental states associated with significant distress, impairment in functioning, or risks of self-harm. People with mental health conditions are more likely to experience lower levels of mental well-being, but this is not always or necessarily the case. Uh, Number two, determinant of mental health. Throughout our lives, multiple individual, social, and structural determinants may combine to protect or undermine our mental health and shift our position on the mental health continuum. Individual physiological and biological factors such as emotional skill, substance abuse, and genetic can make people more vulnerable to mental health problems. Exposure to unfavorable social, economic, geopolitical, and environmental circumstances, including poverty, violence, inequality, and environmental deprivation, also increases people's risk of experiencing mental health conditions. Breaks can manifest themselves as stages of life, but those can occur during developmentally sensitive periods, especially early childhood, are particularly detrimental. For example, harsh parenting and physical punishment is known to undermine childhood, and bullying is a leading risk factor to mental health condition. Protective factors may occur throughout our lives and serve to strengthen resilience. They include our individual social and emotional skills and attributes as well so positive social interaction, quality education, decent work, safe neighborhoods, and community cohesion, among others. Mental health risks and protective factors can be found in society at different scales. Local threat heightened risks for individual families and communities. Global threat heightened risks for world population and include economic downturns, disease outbreaks, humanitarian emergencies, and forces displacement and the growing climate crisis. Its single risk and protective factor has only limited predictive strength. Most people do not develop a mental health condition despite export risk factor, still develop a mental health condition. Nonetheless, the interaction determinant of mental health serve to enhance or undermine mental health. And the last, mental health care and treatment. In the context of national effort to strengthen mental health, it is vital to not only protect and promote the mental well-being of all, but also to address the need of people with mental health condition. This should be done through community-based mental health care, which is a more accessible and acceptable than institutional care, helps prevent human rights violation and deliver better recovery outcomes or people with mental health condition. Community-based mental health care should be provided through at network of interrelated services that comprise first, mental health services that are integrated in general healthcare, typical in general hospital and through best sharing with non-specialist care provider in primary healthcare. Two, community mental health service that might involve community mental health center and teams. Psychosocial rehabilitation, peer support service, and support living service. And three, service that deliver mental health care, social service, and non-health setting, is, such as child protection, school health service, and prison. The first, the first care gap for common mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety mean countries must also find innovative ways to diversity and scale up care for this condition. For example, through non-specialist psychological counseling or digital self-help. Okay. Thank you for attention to my video and see you.
Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Alia Medewati, you can call me Alia. My NPM is 0140124010003. I'm from the Public Health Study Program. Now I'm here to discuss the importance of hemoglobin levels in thalassemia sufferers. Okay, first of all, I want to tell you about the meaning of thalassemia. What is thalassemia? Thalassemia is hereditary disease caused by a deficiency in one of the substances that from hemoglobin, resulting in reduced production. Thalassemia is a very serious blood disorder that can be life-threatening. Thalassemia sufferers can survive by having regular blood transfusion every week. So, thalassemia sufferers will be able to carry out normal activities if the sufferers have a blood transfusion. And then thalassemia has three categories. For the first one is thalassemia intermediate. For the second is thalassemia minor, and the third is thalassemia major. The most severe thalassemia is thalassemia major because blood transfusion are required once a week or twice a week. But there is something more important than having a blood transfusion for thalassemia sufferers, namely the results of hemoglobin. The results of hemoglobin are very influential for the lives of thalassemia sufferers. Why? Because before carrying out a blood transfusion, they have to do a blood test to see the hemoglobin results. When the hemoglobin results are very low, they must perform a blood transfusion as quickly as possible. Not only before a blood transfusion, but also after a blood transfusion to see whether the hemoglobin results increase or not. If the hemoglobin results is above 10 grams per deciliter, it is considered good. Therefore, thalassemia sufferers must maintain a hemoglobin result above 10 grams per deciliter. A good blood component for thalassemia sufferers is red blood transfusion, which has the function of increasing hemoglobin results. Clinically, the blood component that is often used for blood transfusion for thalassemia sufferers is packed red cell leukoplatelet. Regular blood transfusion can help replace the cells in the body of thalassemia sufferers. And then, what are the symptoms experienced by thalassemia sufferers? The symptoms are a weak body, dark skin, dark urine, increased heart rate, fatigue, abnormal facial bones and stomach growth, and a bulging abdominal surface with an enlarged liver and spleen. For thalassemia sufferers, this is very unfortunate because No cure has been found for thalassemia, but don't worry, we can prevent it. The way to prevent this is that we can carry out screening when we are teenagers and before marriage to find out whether a person has the gene carrying the trait or not, and preventing marriage between those carrying the gene or thalassemia carrying the trait, which can produce thalassemia offspring. Okay everyone, here are the conclusions we can draw out. That the results of hemoglobin in thalassemia sufferers are very influential of their life, because throughout life, thalassemia sufferers have to undergo blood transfusion. We have to note the hemoglobin results, and after that we have to check again whether the hemoglobin results have improved or not. The need for blood to be transfusion in thalassemia sufferers depends on the hemoglobin results. Thank you everyone for your attention. I hope it can be useful for you. Bye bye. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello Mr. J. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nikan Syafira Musibun. My NPM number is 01240500002 and I'm from Public Health Study Program. In this session, I will explain about monkeypox disease. Monkeypox is a disease caused by the monkeypox virus, a species of the genus Orthovirus. This disease is a zoonotic disease, which means it is transmitted from animals to humans. The disease can also spread from human to human, and the outbreak, the WHO showed that most of the cases were men who had sex with men or who had more than one sex partner. Next, symptoms. 1. Symptoms of monkeypox are usually fever, pain, great head, muscle pain, pain back, weakness, swelling, lymph nodes or in the neck, arm or groin, and rash. 2. Rash usually starts on up to 3 days since the fever. And 3. The number of lesions in one person can range from just a few to thousands. And 4. Rash then to be contrast on the face, palms, and soles of the feet. Rash can also get found in the mouth, genitals, and eyes. And 5. Monkeypox rash sometimes mistaken for syphilis or herpes. Monkeypox can be transmitted from animals to humans through physical contact with infected animals, typically rodents and primates. Monkeypox spreads from person to person through close contact with someone who has monkeypox lesions, including skin-to-skin, mouth-to-mouth, or mouth-to-skin contact, as well as sexual contacts. Additionally, healthy individuals can become infected by touching items that have been handled by an infected person. And prevention. The prevention measures are to limit contact with suspect or confirmed case of monkeypox, limit contacts with animals that are at risk of transmission, regularly disease the environment that might be contaminated, and get yourself and your close contacts checked if you experience monkeypox symptoms. Isolation should be done until all skin cells have dried, filled up, and new skin layers have formed. And population. 1. For people who have had close contact with monkeypox patients, and 2. People who have had contact with animals that might be infected. Next, 3. Healthcare workers caring for monkeypox patients. for individuals who have not received the small vaccine. 5. Newborns, children, and individuals with weakened immune system are at higher risk of experiencing more severe symptoms and death due to monkeypox. Next, vaccine and medicine. The vaccine previously used for smallpox has been developed and researched for use in the prevention of monkeypox. However, due to limited global availability, vaccine is
Hello, Mr. Joe. Introduce. My name is Dodi Setiawan from the Public Health Program. My name is 012401000007. I will explain about monkeypox disease. Monkeypox is viral infection characterized by festering pustules on the skin. Monkeypox can be transmitted from person to person, but the main source of disease is rat and primates such infected rat. Monkey is krill. Monkeypox has similar symptoms to chickenpox, which is water rats or pustules that can appear on the face, chest, and the inside of the nose and mouth. The difference that monkeypox is accompanied by swollen lymph nodes to usually occur in the lower jaw, neck, and growing monkeypox and of onion. But the disease is very rare. It is most commonly found within Central Africa. Monkeypox is caused by the monkeypox virus. The virus spread through saliva drops that enter through the eyes, mouth, nose, or skin wound. The flowing air sound factor that can increase the risk of developing monkeypox. Bits out screen from infect rod and primate such as rats, monkey, squirrel. The rods can with warm blood or body fluid of infect people and animal. Contact with item outside by infected people or animal, especially for prolonged period. Exposed to the use of self-containment with the virus, for when being near an infected person with they cough or sneeze, or when stalking face to face with patient. Risk factor for monkeypox. The following group of people are more the risk of developing monkeypox: people who have been in close contact with persons with monkeypox, people who live in the same house as persons with monkeypox, health workers who treat people with monkeypox, veterinarian who care for sick vermin or ridden. Symptoms of monkeypox appear 5-21 days after the person infected with the monkeypox virus. Initial symptoms include severe headache, fever, 3.5 degrees Celsius to 40.5 degrees Celsius, muscle pain, back pain, body feel very tired or weak, chill, cold sweat, swollen lymph nodes characterized by lumps in the neck, raw jaw, under the chin or groin. The skin rash may appear with 1-5 day after the fever approaches. The following are the state of rash development in monkeypox patients. The rash may pop on the face, body, arm, legs, ginger, scalp, palm, soles, mouth, and ears. The rash starts as red spot about 2 5 mm in size. The develop in the hard, prominent, dark, cold pustule paper. Gradually, the pustule will fill with clear fluid, fish atau viscous, until it turns into a yellow fluid pustule. These fluid pustules are generally round in shape with a diameter of 0.5 to 2 centimeters and feel hard, itchy, and painful. After 2.4 weeks, the rash will dry in scab that have sort of my left reddish. Mark as well as with or black patches on the skin. Monkeypox can also occur in your pet. Some the symptoms of monkeypox look of farm animals. Later, yes, discard, loss of appetite, fever, rash or red spot on the skin. The dash general only cause mild symptom and can hold in 2.4 weeks. Even so, people with monkeypox need to be treated in isolation, either at home or hospital to prevent the spread of the disease. During isolation at home, patients can do the following: wash hands with soap and water on sanitizer, especially before or after touching the rash houses. While in isolation, keep your skin dry and do not cover the rash area. If around other people, wear masks and cover the after all until the rash heals. If you are in the isolation room, avoid touching item and spray the room with disinfectant frequently. Use salt water as mouth for mouth sore. Take a warm bath with baking soda or Epsom salt for body wound. All from me. Thank you, Mister. Bye.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Gustiano Diantara, NPM 01240002. I went to convey a conversation about a doctor and a patient discussing a disease. Enjoy listening to this conversation. Asthma is a chronic disease of the respiratory tract which is characterized by shortness of breath due to inflammation and narrowing of the airways. Asthma can be suffered by a age group, both young and old. Asthma sufferers have more sensitive respiratory tract than normal people. When the lungs are exposed to asthma trigger, the muscles in the respiratory tract will stiffen, making the tract narrow. Apart from that, phlegm production also increases. The combination of the condition causes sufferers to experience asthma symptoms. Asthma, based on a report from the Indonesia Ministry of Health in 2018. It is estimated that 2,4% of the entire Indonesia population suffer from walk with reached 262 million people, with the death rate due to asthma reaching 461.000 people. Cause and symptoms of asthma. Although the cause is not yet known for certain, there are several diseases that often trigger asthma, namely cigarette smoke, dust, animal fur, cold air, viral infection, exposure to chemical. A number of these triggers can cause complaints in asthma survivors, such as difficulty breathing, dry throat, wheezing, and fear or thickness in the chest. Asthma treatment and prevention. Asthma treatment can be adjusted to the pain condition. The goal to relieve asthma symptoms, prevent recurrence of symptoms, and reduce swelling and narrow of the respiratory tract. The method can include administering drugs. For example, bronchodilator drugs such as beta-agonist drugs. This medication can be an asthma inhaler, nebulization, oral medicine, or AP. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's me into myself. My name is Putri Amelia, NPM 01241000012. In this video, I will explain about hypertension. Let's watch it together. Hypertension or high blood pressure is a medical condition in which the blood pressure in the arteries is abnormally high. Blood pressure is measured with two numbers: systolic pressure, the top number, which indicates the pressure when the heart contracts and pumps blood, and diastolic pressure, the bottom number, which indicates the pressure when the heart rests between beats. The general definition of hypertension is blood pressure that is above 140/40 per age 19 mm. Hypertension is often referred to as the silent killer because it often does not show clear symptoms. So many people do not realize they have this condition until they experience serious complications such as heart disease, stroke, or kidney failure. Hypertension can be caused by various factors, which are generally divided into subcategories: primary and secondary hypertension. Primary hypertension or essential hypertension is a type of hypertension that has no clear cause. The following factors are often associated with primary hypertension. Yang pertama, number one, by genetic, family histories of hypertension increase a person's risk of developing it. Two, as you get older, your risk of developing hypertension increase. Secondary hypertension is caused by certain medical condition or external factors. Some common cause of secondary hypertension include 1. Kidney disease, 2. Certain hormonal disorder, 3. As of certain medication such as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, 4. Excessive alcohol consumption, 5. Obesity. Symptoms of hypertension. Most people with hypertension do not experience any symptom. Only for some people might experience dizziness or nosebleed. In several cases, hypertension can cause serious symptoms such as chest pain, shortness of breath, or visual disturbance. It is important to note that these symptoms usually appear after hypertension has been going on for a long time and can damage organs. In fact, hypertension uncontrolled hypertension can have serious impact on health. Some complications that might occur due to hypertension include 1. Heart disease such as heart failure, coronary artery disease, stroke, kidney disease, and vision problem, hypertrophic retinopathy. Why to prevent hypertension? Reducing the risk of hypertension can be done in several ways, including lifestyle change and in some cases, medication. Here are some preventive steps that can be taken. Health eating pattern. 1. Does dietary alternatives to stop hypertension. Protein fruit, vegetable, whole grain, and low-fat dairy products, and reduce salt. Limit sodium intake to less than 2,300 milligrams per day, or less than 1,500 milligrams if a higher risk. Physical activity. 1. Regular exercise. Doing physical activities such as walking, running, swimming, or climbing for less 150 minutes per week. Maintaining ideal body weight. Weight control. Overweight can increase the risk of hypertension. Managing your diet and exercise can help you achieve a healthy weight. Limit alcohol consumption and quit smoking. Alcohol consumption. Limit your alcohol consumption. Women are designed to have 2 more than a drink per day, while men are advised to have no more than 2 drinks. Quit smoking. Smoking can damage blood vessel walls and increase blood pressure. Stress management. Relaxation techniques. Breathing, mindfulness, yoga, or medication can help reduce stress level that can contribute to hypertension. Consolation. Hypertension is a common condition that affects many people and can lead to serious complications if not treated today. The explanation about hypertension. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello Mr. Jan, let me introduce myself. My name is Fauzia Zahra Putri with NPM number 0124010006. Here I will write an article of dengue fever. Dengue hemorrhagic fever, or DHF, is disease transmitted by the bite of mosquito called Aedes aegypti. This disease is still one of the public health issues in Indonesia, and its spread rate in Indonesia is among the highest among Southeast Asian countries. Dengue fever often occurs in tropical and subtropical climates and is one of the dangerous diseases that will threaten life if not treated immediately. In Indonesia itself, dengue fever has a number of cases that tend to increase every year. The Ministry of Health of Indonesia record the cumulative number of dengue fever cases in Indonesia in 2023 many as 114,720 cases. Meanwhile, the number of deaths reached 894 cases. The cause of DHF is dengue virus, which is transmitted to humans through the Aedes aegypti mosquito. When the mosquito bites a human, the virus enters the human body. Aedes aegypti mosquitoes are generally small, with solid black bodies, have two vertical strips on their backs and horizontal white stripe on their legs. These mosquitoes are active mainly in the morning to evening, although sometimes they also bite at night. They are more often found in the dark and cool house than in hot outdoor house. The symptoms of dengue hemorrhagic fever, or DHF, that you are: number 1, high fever up to 40 degrees Celsius 2 to 7 days, bloody headache, pain in the back of the eyes, neck and bones, nausea and vomiting, reddish skin rash or red spot, difficulty swallowing, endless bleeding gums or sores. In the critical phase of the DHF symptom, need to be alert because it can occur fog dengue syndrome, which can be life-threatening. Symptoms that appear in the critical phase include: number 1, body temperature drops and feels cool, rapid breathing, fatigue, anxiety, blood in vomit or cyania, pale and cold skin, feeling very thirsty. Treatment for DHF include drinking plenty of fluids to prevent dehydration, either through oral fluid or through intravenous fluid if necessary. Patients are also advised to rest completely and apply compress to the body to help overcome fever. Symptomatic drugs such as fever reducer, paracetamol, and anti-nausea drugs can be given to relieve symptoms. It is important to always consult the examining doctor to get the right treatment. To prevent DHF, several preventive measures can be taken, such as cleaning water reservoirs, covering water containers, measuring used goods, maintaining house cleanliness, using mosquito erosion or repellent, spraying mosquito or fogging using mosquito net when sleeping, using mosquito wire on house ventilation, and wearing clothing and bright colored clothing. Dengue vaccination can also be done on children aged 9 to 16 years. Dengue fever is a disease that can be prevented through environmental hygiene measures and avoiding mosquito bites. Early treatment of symptoms and management of complications is essential to prevent more severe conditions. That's my explanation regarding dengue fever. More and less sorry. Thank you.